Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about simplifying exponents. So whenever you're multiplying, like in this first example, we need to first deal with any of the coefficients. So coefficients, you're just going to multiply together. So negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Now let's bring down the rest. X squared, y negative third, x to the fifth, y squared. Alright, now we need to look for like exponents, or like terms. X's go together. Well, anytime you're multiplying exponents, multiply means we need to add the exponents together. So in this case, I need 2 plus 5, which equals 7. So I've got negative 6 x to the 7th, bring down my y to the negative third, y squared. Again, I've got 2 y's left, so I'm going to do negative 3 plus 2, that's negative 1. I've got negative 6 x to the 7th, y to the negative 1. Now here I get to the point where I'm like, it's not simplified yet. Any negative exponents, you need to flip to numerator or the denominator, depending on where they started. So this is in the numerator, so I'm actually going to put this all over 1, and the y is going to flip down. So then this becomes negative 6 x to the 7th over y to the first power. Since it's the first power, I don't need to write it. And that is your simplified answer. Alright, so now let's move on to a problem where we start with a fraction. The first thing you do, again, is work with the coefficients. So let's work with 8 over 24. Well, 8 goes into both these, so I can divide by 8 and divide by 8 here, which makes this 1 x to the 6th, y to the negative third, over 3 x squared, y to the negative 4th. Now, if these aren't aligned in their kind of terms, I would probably write them so that they're aligned with each other. I have already simplified 1/3, or 8/24. Now, let's talk about when we're dividing. Well, dividing, unlike multiplying exponents, means we need to subtract. So we take the bigger one, we subtract the smaller one. So in this case, 6 minus 2 is 4. Since it's positive, I know it ends up in the numerator. So now I have 1 over 3, x to the 4th in the numerator, since it was positive, y to the negative third, and just y to the negative 4th in the bottom. So that's where I got from here to here. Now I have to deal with this y. Well, again, you can just subtract them and figure out what you get. Or you can kind of flip them and figure it out. The easiest way is just to go negative 3 minus negative 4, which is really negative 3 plus 4, which equals 1. So since it's positive again, I know it's going to end up in the numerator. So then snaking down here, we get 1 x to the 4th, y over 3. And we don't have to write the 1, but if you write it there, it's fine. Alright, and let's go to the last example. This is often one of the trickiest ones. So whenever you have a whole expression raised to a power, simplify inside first. It will make it so much easier. So take your 3/6. Hopefully you realize that's just 1/2. Now, we're going to go and look at x's. Well, I'm dividing. So that means I need to do 2 minus negative 3. Well, what is 2 minus negative 3? Well, that's 2 plus 3, which is 5. Since 5 is positive, I know x to the 5th ends up on top. Now, I need to think about my y's. I've got 5 minus 2, which is 3. Well, since that's positive, that ends up in the top, y to the third. I'm going to move this down a little bit. 1/2 x to the 5th, y to the third, over 2 Now remember that this whole thing is raised to that third power. So this is where we need to remember power to power means multiply the exponents. So in this case, I need to distribute this power to everything inside. And I'm actually multiplying it through. So that's 1 to the third, x to the 15th, y to the 9th, and 2 to the third. 1 to the third is 1, x to the 15th, y to the 9th stay, 2 to the third is 8. And then I have my simplified answer. So those three examples go over all the basics of when you're multiplying, you add exponents. Always deal with coefficients first. When you're dividing, you subtract the exponents. And a power to a power, or exponents to a power, is multiplying. Alright, so go ahead, attempt the ones in your summer math packet, and then make sure you check your answers and come to class prepared with questions.